Hello and welcome back to the Golf Ireland podcast. I'm Stephen Murphy, your co-host, joined by Valerie Wheeler. Valerie, how are you this week?
I'm good. I'm flying it. Not a bother. I mean, for anybody that has missed out on sport in their life over the last 2 weeks or so of the Olympics, the Paralympics on, so make sure you've RT on all day, every day.
Yes, you'll be involved yourself in terms of covering it, which is very, very exciting. And yeah, it is great to have it because the Olympics left a bit of a void in our life there for a little bit. So it's great to have the Paralympics back straight away, basically a couple of weeks afterwards. So yeah, it is gonna be really exciting. I'm sure there's plenty of Irish medal hopes as well. So yeah, it must be very excited to cover something like this.
Yeah, do you know what? It's really nice. This is actually my second Paralympics. I did Tokyo as well, which was really nice. So yeah, we have a lot of Irish out there. Every evening we'll have like, let's say, a highlights evening show where you'll see most of the Irish in action, and then I'll be doing like this little wrap up segment and the best stories and the nicest stories of the day every night, and a little highlights package. So which is really nice because I get to sit down and watch all different sports all day long, decide what goes into this, and enjoy making it. And it's honestly, it's going to be such a lovely 10 or 11 days.
Yeah, you get all the posy vibe stories, which is
Yeah.
nice because there's
No, it's
nothing there's nothing like a good what do you call it, montage. God, you can't beat a good montage for like,
yeah. And I
just
must say, some of their stories, I mean, the Paralympians are just absolutely outrageous, Stephen, of how they're there and, I suppose how they're taking part in these games. And it's just so inspiring to watch them. So it's honestly it's really nice to be able to get the chance to highlight them and give them the platform they deserve.
yeah, you can argue very even more impressive than the Olympic athletes considering their backstory and whatnot. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting stuck into some Paralympics myself. It's on at a good time for us here in Ireland, obviously still being in France and whatnot. You're unfortunately not getting to travel over to Paris, which is unfortunate.
I know, yeah, that boot is still holding me back a small bit. I don't think I'd be able to hobble around Paris for 10 or 11 days, unfortunately, with it. So it's easier for me to sit in Donnybrook for the 10 days and do the work from there. But yeah, no, it's really exciting. What about yourself? Have you anything nice planned for the week? Are you out golfing? How are you since your quarterfinal?
Good. I played 9 holes last weekend. Actually, timed it lovely. Played 9 holes on Saturday morning, and as I was walking off the course, it started to lash. So timed it really nicely. Nice 9 holes. So yeah, I'm hitting the ball pretty well at the moment. So I'm looking forward to getting hopefully some weekend rounds in now in the coming weeks. Unfortunately, with my actual day job, I'm on call. So basically, I have to be sort of stuck around the house. And of course, this weekend it's given like the best weather that it's given in weeks. So well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to. I might try and just sneak out for a couple of holes on Saturday or Sunday, and hopefully don't get in trouble. But no, I'm excited. It's kind of the last kind of month now or so of golf season. I would say, or kind of the evens are getting a bit. I don't even want to talk about it because it's just going to upset me. But if we get maybe a good September, it'll be nice. Get a couple of competitive rounds under the belt, and then maybe go into the off season and start working on the game again. But yeah, no, hopefully. But yeah, but I think next year is going to be a big golf year for you, Valerie. I think the boot's going to come off and you're going to skyrocket.
It's just going to be unreal. I can't wait to get the boot off, lads, to be honest. But yeah, no, an exciting few days now, Stephen. But this week on the podcast, we have a very inspiring guest. Her name is Ilona Madden. She's from Wicklow Golf Club, and we had her on, right? And she was, I suppose, talking about the confidence to go on a committee that was maybe full of male members, the confidence to speak up in the committee. To generate the support and like being part of a cultural change in the club. So it's really interesting chat, and it's great to see more women involved in golf and more women involved in the leadership side of golf, and that's what's needed. We are in 2024, so Ilona had just had such a fantastic chat about, and hopefully her chat will give more women the encouragement to put themselves forward for these roles.
Yeah, you can tell from her discussion how passionate she is about it. So it was a great conversation. We'll throw to that conversation now. So enjoy. We are now delighted to be joined by Ilona Madden. Ilona is the president of Wicklow Golf Club. She's also on the committee of management there and is also a wellness and nutrition coach. Ilona, thank you so much for joining us here on the Golf Ireland podcast. First of all, how are you today?
I'm grand. I'm grand. I had a really great round yesterday and lost a few shots on my handicap, so I'm delighted.
That's brilliant. That is, maybe we
Wow.
should start opening with that. Yeah, how's your latest golf round? That should be the opening round. Tell us a little bit more about that. I'm immediately curious.
Oh, look, I don't know if you know Wicklow Golf Club, but it's a stunning course, no matter what the weather's like. It's always, great to see the scenery. And golf just gives me that. I had a bit of, kind of things going on in private life, and you're out on the golf course, and immediately you're just out there enjoying it, enjoying the views, and you forget all the problems that are going on on other things. So.
Fair play. You're a busy woman. I know there's a lot going on in that title of yours, and we will get through each and every single one of them to talk to about them. But first of all, Ilona, tell us about where your love of golf started and maybe how long you're playing it.
Well, yes, I'm playing over 20 years now. And yeah, like it happens, my husband played as a junior. And when we met, he got back into golf. And yeah, at first I was a golf widow and tried to kill it was never only 4 hours, as he said, because it's always longer. But I love being outdoors. I love walking. I like being in nature. And when we went on holidays, he took me out to some amazing scenery. We went to, Florida, Puerto Rico, I remember particularly. And I just loved it. And then he was very clever. He gave me a club to try, go on, and so on. And he said, I think you have potential. That's really the beginning. And then we joined. We were living in Germany. Golf is very elitist there, or it has been. It has improved. But coming back to Ireland, we joined the club, and yeah, that was it. So yeah, that's over 20 years ago.
Brilliant. And you're also a wellness and nutrition coach as well in your day-to-day life. How have you, I suppose, viewed the golf landscape when it comes to wellness and nutrition? We've had other guests on before, and there seems to be a lot of low-hanging fruit in that area. No pun intended.
Yes. Well, to be honest, I mean, golf is just one of those sports. It is so good for you, because you're out I mean, there's so many health benefits. You're out in nature, you're walking, it's low impact, it's for every age, it's the beauty is that, you can start as a young person, but, as you get older, it's fantastic. But there's also the social element, you're meeting other people, it's like there's so much research going out that the community and being involved in on having friends is so, but it's equally important for your health and well-being than eating well and doing exercise. So there's a lot to golf that is good for us. And I love particularly, and that's why I could get into it. My husband plays single figures, but we can go out on holidays. It's no other sports where one person can be so much better than the other, and you go out, you play together. That is just, in my opinion, unique.
Yeah, and when it comes to your job, I think like nutrition and golf play a massive part and go hand in hand together because
Absolutely.
I suppose we've mentioned this before in the pod, but you could be out in a golf course 4 or 5 hours and you're like, what do I do when it comes to food and nutrition and how do I handle that? So it's really important that we have someone like you that also plays golf and knows.
Yeah, I know it. Sometimes I do look and, we talk about it. I've actually given workshops as well in the club, how to keep your energy levels up, and it's not by drinking lots of energy drinks and eating sugar, but it's yeah. So we do chat, obviously and I often bring out my homemade treats and share them, and so people ask me questions about their own well-being, so it does work really well, and I obviously would love to do more as well, because there is a lot to it.
Myself and Stephen learned recently that we need to leave the Haribo at home when it comes to the golf club.
Absolutely. No, it's yeah. I mean, we
We
probably
could be here forever. Yeah.
it would lead too far, but it is the sugar spikes and dips, and so there's lots of things you can do to keep your energy up. And Wicklow is a particularly hilly course, so when we get to the 14th, we have to go back up a hill, and a lot of people are like, I'm exhausted. But so I would love to see and do more there to help people, keep the energy levels up.
I'm still pro Haribo. Just want to say I'm still skeptical about it all. But no, I'm joking. You also got involved as a committee member at the golf club. First of all, what was your motivation there, and how did that come about to join the committee?
Well, I have to admit, I was not very motivated to come on committee because I've been on other committees before. I didn't mention that I also worked as a tour guide, and I've been on committee there. I've been on residence committee. So I do know what it's involved, and that there's often long talks and long meetings and different opinions and hard to make decisions. So for me, that's my relaxation. I didn't want to get involved in, but also, being busy and working a lot kind of was a bit of an obstacle. But the other thing was also that I always thought all the others know more. They local, they've been involved for so long, so they were the ones who know. So I didn't really want to get involved, to be quite honest. But I did see that I had more time. I made a few things or got rid of a few things, so I had more time, and I did say to the lady captain at the time that if she needs anyone for the committee, I'd be happy to come on a committee, yeah, or help out wherever possible. What I didn't expect was that a few weeks later she asked me if I want to be her vice captain, and I said no straight away. I said, gosh, no. It's not me. That's not for me. I don't deserve it. There's so many, for me, it was a really prestigious, or it is a very prestigious role. And I said, no, there's loads of other who deserve it more than me. And there's loads of others. And I asked her, did you really ask? And she said, I can't find anyone. Everyone I asked said no. And the main reason women said no is because they either have kids, they have a full-time job, or they're looking after elderly parents. So, it is quite a lot to take on. So I said, no, I couldn't. And she said, look, we don't have anyone. And it was a bit kind of, oh gosh, I'm the last choice sort of a thing. But then I came home, and instead of asking why I should do it, I asked, why not? I have no kids. I was going to take take on less work because I'm self-employed, obviously. I have no elderly parents to look after. I really had, and I said, why not? And that's how I looked at it. And I spoke to others, asking them, do you think I can do this? And yeah, people encouraged me to. And so I was vice captain for 2 years because of COVID. We had the captain stay on a second year, hoping it would improve. So I was 2 years vice captain, and that means automatically being on management committee and on the women's committee.
When it comes to being on the committees like this, Ilona, how important is it for other women to see women on committees like this? Because it might give us, I know, maybe an idea of that, like, yeah, I do belong there, and women are belong in such committees like this, and I can do it.
Yes, and I think that is because I know I was very, I didn't have the confidence that I was good enough. But what I learned was certainly you get the confidence. It is getting out of your comfort zone, definitely. But I think it's so important that we have our say. So in the meetings, I think sometimes, as women, you might think differently, or you might have a different aspect of it that the men hadn't considered. So I think it's absolutely vital. We play a part as well. And it, and I think we women are sometimes a bit, too afraid to take it on. And I know in our club, there are so many very, very capable women that are well able for it because they have the qualification, they have the knowledge, they have the, strength and can talk and have, good skills, and they're afraid to come on. So I would really love to see more women coming on and encourage them. Yes, it is time. You need to commit time, but you will find it. And when you see that you're achieving things and that you're being heard, even if you're not being heard, sometimes I think it's just sometimes planting a seed, and some of the things you might suggest, they might take a long time. But yeah, I think it's well worth, and I would love to see more women getting involved in it. Yeah.
Have you found yourself now on the other side of the conversation that you had with the vice captain? You're the one now suggesting more women take up roles, and how has the initial response been to that?
That I'm hoping to get more women.
Yeah.
Well, I'm I'm having the conversations. They're still trying to get women, but we do, yeah, and people do consider, and sometimes I think as women we'd like to be asked, and maybe asked twice, and given the encouragement. I think that is important. And when you feel like somebody else believes in you, and somebody else has been there, and yeah, I think it's important, but it's you grow into the role. Absolutely. I think I have. I mean, I remember my first meetings. I sat there, I listened, I was quiet, I was afraid to open my mouth and say anything. But you do grow into it. And I think one of the things, because I did get a bit of coaching as well during the time, because I joined the RNA leadership program, and got some coaching, and it was about finding your values. So if you know what's important to you, and if you know your strength, you can also what to give back. So it's like, I mean, I had the strength of being a coach, also working as a tour guide, motivating people, organizing things in the golf club, like fundraisers, or the night out and stuff. So yeah, playing with your strength, and then you get back a lot as well, because you're doing something good. So I learned that rather than trying to be everything and everyone, and looking at what other captains have done before, or other people have done before, everyone has their own strength. And the things I'm not good at, I'm not good at figures, so I could never take on the role of a treasurer. But I'm good with, with people. And so if you know your own strength, you find your work. And I think especially the role as a captain, you look at, oh my God, they were so much better, or president, she's done such an amazing job, I couldn't do it. But you put your own stamp on it as well.
I mean, you talk about confidence, and that's all it takes sometimes, is to have a tiny bit of confidence in yourself, to put yourself forward for these positions. And you did. Did you find that you were maybe a bit of a cultural change in the club, Ilona, when you started the committee?
I don't know about it that really, but to be honest, I also had the male captain when in my year. He was, we talked about the one club model, and he was very much in favor of it. And so that was, it was time to review our constitution, because it was quite an old one. There were a couple of things, to bring up the club to a new level. And so we worked really well together, because it was something I would feel strongly about. He did. So that's again, because we believed in it, we could bring it to the club. We could, we brought the members along to vote for it. So yes, I mean, again, you always face opposition. There's always people who have an argument against. And the one thing I did learn when that happens, when everyone has a different opinion, you need to remember everyone does it. Everyone who comes on committee does it because they have the best interest of the club. And sometimes it's hard when you feel very strong to accept, yeah, no, maybe that other person has a point as well. So, but it's we all do it. We all want to have the best for the game, for the members, and that's why you really come on committee. And yeah, I think that is, and that's something kind of, when it got difficult, it got me through that. I said, okay, step back, kind of see it, maybe try to see it from their point. And then when it got really hard, remember my own health coaching, what you need to do, come back, do the breathe, bit of breathing exercise and relaxation, and then look at it from a fresh point of view. Yeah.
Is there a good amount of women in the Wicklow Golf Club, Ilona, or would you like to see more?
I would love to see more. Absolutely. And also more girls. I think sports in general is so important for young people. My dad was very sporty, not golf. He was more into gymnastics and so on. But I was really brought up with the sport. So I think for golf clubs, it's important to just nurture the young people. I mean, some people look at it, oh yeah, the juniors get a lot for very little money, but I think it's a bigger picture. We need to look at the bigger picture, encouraging young people for sports, regardless of what they do after. I believe very much when they learn it as young people and then come back, and we see it in the women who played as juniors, when they come back 20, 30 years later to golf, they're the ones who lose the shots very quickly. So I believe very much, I would love to see more girls in it, but also more women. Also, I would love to see women becoming more confident that they can do it. I see a lot of beginners of women who start late who say, oh, I'll never be a good golfer and I'm never... I know. No, it's like getting the confidence. We all, and you know what? The one thing I love about golf, it teaches us actually about our life. Becoming resilient when you have a bad round, to keep going and go out again and give it your best shot again. It's like, I love that quote about sometimes also you have a good shot and you're being penalized. That's why I scratched the last hole, because I ended up in the bunker with a super shot, kind of way. But sometimes you have a really bad shot and it turns out well. So golf teaches us so much about life and becoming, but also about thinking positively. So what I notice in my health thing, a lot of people say, well, I'll never lose weight. If you keep saying that to your mind all the time, it's not going to happen. And if you keep telling yourself, I'm never going to be a good golfer, you're setting yourself up for failure. So I like that idea as well. We can learn so much from golf, and I would love to see more women coming into the golf, but also trusting and believing that they can do it and that they can improve their handicap. Yeah.
Brilliant. Just before I ask the last question, just remind everyone for listening at home, the one club model you mentioned there, what exactly is that?
Well, to put it like beforehand, we had a men's club and a women's club, and we had the overall club. So, kind of 3 AGMs, 3, kind of different, kind of everyone making their own decisions and so on. So having one club, we are one club now, and we have one constitution, one AGM. We still obviously have the men's golf and the women's golf committees who look after the golf element of in the club. There is still, there's still work to be done. It's in our constitution now. But we're on that path. Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that for people at home. And my last question for you, Ilona, is, are you still having time to get out and play yourself? It sounds like you are, but are you still getting out there and playing? And you seem to really love the game, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. I do make sure I do get out, but it's also then the social after, you obviously, like as president, you want to be in the club as much and meet as many people. So I also make a point that I don't always play with the same women, that I play with, try to get out with as many, but also see them afterwards, have a chat, listen to their concerns, things that they come up with. Oh, could we do this? And why are we doing that? And so on. So I really, that's why I make sure to be down in play golf in Wicklow as much as possible. Yeah.
I mean, you're such a positive person, and you can tell that you have really grown so much in that role. And I feel like you're the right person for that role, and that you'll be giving the men a run for their money inside there alone. And that's the way it should be. So,
Thanks.
we're delighted to chat to you today. And I feel like after chatting to you as well, that I feel like I could go out and play a good round of golf. I don't know, Stephen, do you feel like you're very
You can.
positive?
Absolutely.
I'm always battling, Valerie. I'm always battling demons. But definitely, I think if I was playing with Ilona, I'd probably shoot my best round.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so good.
Ilona, thank you so much for chatting to us. And if there's anyone
Thank
listening to us
you.
that maybe want to get, if there's a woman listening to us, or men even that want to get involved and want to chat, would you be open to chatting to somebody? They just call down to the golf club.
No, absolutely. Yeah, no, I'd be happy to have a chat, like, yeah, absolutely. So I don't know how we find, but I'm sure we find ways to find me. And I'd love to, if anyone has any doubt or whatever, I really would hope to encourage. I would really love to encourage more women to get in. What you put in, you will put in things, you will have difficult times, you need a lot of time, but you are getting a lot out as well. And that's really what I think why it's important to do.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Ilona. Have a fabulous week.
You too. Okay, thanks so much.
Now it is time for the news section of the podcast, and we will start with the professional game as always. On the ladies' European Tour, the KPMG Women's Irish Open tees up in Carton House this week. Best of luck to Roisin Scanlon, Annabelle Wilson, Kate Lanigan, Anna Foster, Emma Fleming, Kate Dillon, Olivia Costello, Aileen Walsh, Canny Screen, and Anna Abom, who all have received tournament invitations. They will tee up alongside Leon Maguire, Olivia Mahaffey, and Lauren Walsh. And special mention for Annabelle Wilson and Anna Foster too, as it will be both players' first tournament since announcing their decision to turn pro. Massive congratulations to both players there. So yeah, very exciting week this week in Ireland, and best of luck to all who are playing, and also enjoy everyone who is going to attend. It'll be a fantastic weekend, I'm sure. On the PGA Tour, Rory McIlroy finished best of the Irish at the BMW Championship. McIlroy finished tied 11th, 6 shots off the top spot on 6 under. Shane Lowry was just 1 shot further back, finishing tied 13th. The season comes to a close with the Tour Championship this week. McIlroy will start on 4 under par and Shane Lowry on 3 under par. On the DP World Tour, it was a tied 10th finish for Tom McKibben at the Danish Golf Championship. A final round 69 saw him finish best of the Irish on 7 under par. The British Master tees up this week with Tom McGibbon and Simon Thornton both in the field. On the LPGA, it was the Women's British Open at St Andrews last week. Leon Maguire finished tied 37th on +4, while Lauren Walsh and Stephanie Meadow unfortunately missed the cut. The LPGA Tour heads back to America this week for the FM Championship. Stephanie Meadow is the only Irish player in the field. On the Challenge Tour, Dermot McIlroy was best of the Irish at the Indoor Golf Group Challenge in Sweden. McIlroy finished 8 under par, the tournament taking 7th place. Jonathan Caldwell finished tied 24th, and Conor O'Rourke tied 61st. The Challenge Tour heads to Poland this week for the Rosa Challenge. Jonathan Caldwell, Dermot McIlroy, Ronan Mullarney, John Murphy, and Conor Purcell all in the field there. On the Clutch Pro Tour, Stuart Gretton played his way to a 7 under total for a tied 7th finish at Frilford Heath last week. Rowan Lester and Niall Carney share the tied 24th spot on 4 under par. Kettleston Park is next on the schedule for the Clutch Pro Tour, with round 1 of the event teeing up this coming Sunday. Now, in amateur news, it is the 43rd Curtis Cup will be staged at Sunningdale from the 30th of August to the 1st of September. The format is 3 foursomes and 3 4-ball matches on each of the first 2 days, and 8 single matches on the final day. Ireland will be represented on Team GB&I by Sarah Byrne, Beth Coulter, and Anya Donegan. Very exciting there. Be looking forward to tuning into that. The Irish Mid-Am was also on. Peter O'Keefe and Aileen Walsh were crowned Irish Mid-Amateur champions at the end of a grueling third round at Tipperary Golf Club. Both players took their respective title by 2 shots. Walsh was first to pick up the win, signing for a +3 total, while O'Keefe carried rounds of 70, 72, and 70 for a 4 under par total. O'Keefe was the best overall gross score too, while he also picked up the Irish Mid-Amateur Men over 40s crown. Melanie Turner and Rhonda McClellan said they have put Limavady on the map again as the Roe Park pairing battled their tougher afternoon conditions in County Longford and came out on brighter side, claiming this year's All-Ireland Australian Spoons title. It was a long journey down for the Roe Park team, but it was all worth it in the end, An impressive 24 points for the opening 9 holes set them on their way, and while 2 scratches on the back 9 almost saw championship head elsewhere, the ship was steady in the afternoon rain, and the pair rallied to pick up 13 points across their final 6 holes to give Turner and McClelland a 38-point total, and then a 2-point victory over East Cork's Lillian Harrington and Deirdre O'Mahony. The World University Championship is underway at Ruhikoski Golf Club, with Barry Fennelly leading out a team of 5 Irish players. Recent Palmer Cup golfer Ryan Griffin is joined by fellow Maynooth University stars David Kitt and Simon Walker. Ulster University also represented with Kate Dwyer and Ellen O'Gorman. They're also in action in Finland. The golf got underway yesterday morning and finishes on Friday, so you can keep up with all the live scoring at www.golfbox.dk/live scoring. Best of luck there. The All-Ireland Interclub was also on. 4 major Interclub trophies are on offer this weekend in Carlow Golf Club, with the best club teams from across the country competing for the AIG Men and Women's Scratch Cup, Women's Senior Foursomes and Men's Barton Shield. The Women's Senior Cup final will see the defending champions Royal Portrush take on Douglas this afternoon from 12 p.m. In the Men's Senior Cup, Galgorm Castle, Castleknock, Castleroy and Rosslare booked their spot in today's semi-finals. The final will tee up at 2 p.m. And the Women's Senior Foursomes and Men's Barton Shield gets underway on Friday, and keep an eye out for all the latest scores on the social medias, all from Carlow as well. That wraps up this week's news. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. As always, we appreciate you listening, and we will see you all next week.